me, because I was very big with pointing the finger at other people. Like, well, if you would have trained me like this, I wouldn't be like this. Or if you would have did this, this wouldn't have happened because I would have did it like that. You know, very judgmental. I found myself in a very judgmental spot. And it's like, wait a minute, stop. Where do you fit in this? Where did you go and do the lessons that he told you to do 3 years ago? Did you write down the sermons that he told you to write? Do you have those 10? You know, or do you have this? He gave it to you, but because he wasn't holding your hand and he walked away like Master Shifu, I was offended.
Come on.
And a lot of times we think that the tools have not been taught or have not been given, but they have been. It's our perception on what or how we handle the things that was given and placed before us. So, and saying that, me going back and saying that this year was probably the best year of me learning me. I had to get over the fact that I had a whole nother kid in the fact of working ministry. I had to get over that. I had to look at, okay, but you still have an assignment that was given to you 3 years ago. And actually, this is September, so 3 years, that's some months ago. So it was like, oh, okay. So now, if he asks me where they are, I can go over completely into my car and say, here go the folder. Here they are. But it took me 3 years to get that folder together and I could have probably been a lot farther than I am now if I would have accepted the assignment 3 years ago. I didn't accept it because I couldn't look past self and I couldn't look past other people. So you're not going to become who you are if you cannot look past yourself and look past your leaders, other people, or whatever, because they have given you every tool that you need to use. But it's just like, well, yeah, he told me to do that, but since he didn't do X, Y, and Z, I'm not doing this. And it's like, but at the end of the day, you know what? You're not hurting him.
Yes.
Right.
You're hurting yourself.
Amen.
Yes. And not even just yourself, you're hurting everyone else that's looking up to you. Because it's people that's waiting on you. And I have to tell myself this a lot. And then I'll try to run, and like Poe did, he tried to run. I tried to run too. Like, you know what? I ain't coming to church. I'm staying at home. I don't care. I'm going to go over here because I failed anyway. They're probably looking at me like I failed, so I'm going to go and stay at home. And I sit on my porch, and here comes random people every day. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I never really got away from it because it was just right there in my face, right? Amen. And so then where I would sit there and I'd be like, okay, I'm not doing this. And all habit break loose. And it's like, you know what, all right, well, I know what to do because it's in you. You already know what to do. So you're going to find yourself in your prayer closet anyway. But why did you have to go through all of this turmoil to do it if you would have just did it the first time around? So becoming who you are is really important on being connected with people who know you. Shifu knew all of Poe's strengths, whether he agreed with his call, because at first he didn't, or not. But he still taught him because that's who he was, whether he agreed with it or not. Like, some might be like, that's not her call. But at the end of the day, I know that I have been trained to do it. And that's where y'all have to get to in y'all becoming who you are. You and I, not y'all, but you and I becoming who we are. We have to know us, yourself. You need to go and look in that mirror very closely, because some of the things that you're experiencing in life you would never even have to experience or ever had to experience if you would have followed the directions and been obedient the first time. You would have been so much farther now if you would have listened a couple of years ago. You wouldn't even have to sit here and wonder about your schooling, because you have had every opportunity to advance. Like every opportunity to advance. But instead you wanted to do you, and I get it, because I was there. I wanted to do me. But at the end of the day, you will end up having to follow those instructions anyway. Because you're not going to become who God said you are until you start learning how to be obedient. My teammates, I know that it may be hard when you have to get up here and begin to do Sunday school or teaching. You might feel like, confused, or you feel like you teaching other leaders. What can you offer? You have a lot to offer. Because you being you teach from a totally different perspective than us as teachers or us as leaders. So it may be scary and it may be intimidating, because Poe's team was already the Furious Five. They was already in position, but ultimately who had the responsibility, who had the anointing to lead the team was Poe. So you never know, if you might be just Poe. You might be the next one to have the anointing to fully lead the team. So, in saying that, I just leave y'all with this. Please become who you are. Please become and have that whole understanding and that whole talk with self. Because when you truly examine your heart and let your heart